Hi, welcome to Matt Holman Golf. I thought I'd take a look at Tom Watson. On the right hand side is him in the sort of 1970s there in his prime. On the left hand side was most probably a year or so ago. I know there was a point in his career where he made some changes to a little bit more of a modern look. I thought I'd just take you through some of them. I think Tom's in his sort of 60s now and see where his swing is similar and has changed a little. I think largely sort of an unchanged movement, definitely tidied up the lower body, sort of chest rotates and stays over the ball more. I think where I'm really impressed, they're an incredibly good ball striker for 60 odds there. I know he sort of does a lot of flexibility work and strength work, and that really shows in his swing. So let's start on the right hand side. I think this was a Masters long time ago. Definitely setup wise is quite similar. He's a little bit more sort of bent over in the sort of upper segment, chin's down a little bit more. You can see he's got a bit more sort of height in his chin there, and the upper chest. Shaft angle's a little higher. So camera angle on the left hand side is a little lower, but I think they're good enough to sort of do a comparison here. So definitely on the right hand side the club tended to move sort of a little bit more underplane. You're going to see with Tom's more recent swing. And I'll find if he's hitting hybrid here, I've got a driver on the right hand side as well. You're going to see a similar look, but it is a little bit more on plane as he continues on. This is where certainly slightly more around on the right hand side. I think look wise at the top, it's always had that sort of long across the line look. Very similar actually. There's not a huge difference there. I think transitional wise, which is the key, is again very much actually unchanged. I think from face on you'll see his chest is sort of over his legs a little bit more, into impact, that characteristic sort of Tom Watson look there. Quiet right foot. He's actually slightly quietened his foot action down. He's a bit more aggressive with that right leg, and usually as the club gets longer we tend to see that foot come off more, so it's definitely a slightly quieter leg action. When we look from face on you'll sort of see that sort of knee drive sort of movement there, and upright follow through. You'll see it's a slightly flatter and more around his body sort of finish now. So what I've got this footage, we've got a driver swing here again back in the day. It's not the greatest quality, but what I really like, it's for this era we can see the club head, some good slow-mo. So you'll see a similar sort of theme here, that real long completed, slightly across the line look, arms full on plane, and now there's going to be sort of a leg drive to square the face, and this sort of lean back, very popular sort of 70s movement. So quick look from face on again, we've got a driver left hand side, right hand side iron, so it's not an exact comparison, but you can definitely see these issues. Usually as the club gets longer we tend to drive our legs more, lean back more, and you'll see an opposite look here, so it's definitely something he's worked on. I think backswing wise quite similar, he's always had this nice long free flowing movement, completes great, very similar club face look there. But I think this is where the main difference is. I think actually even in transition he's not too dissimilar. Nice move onto his front leg, chest over his upper body. Sort of as he comes into impact, you saw guys like Johnny Miller in that era, similar look. The knees are very much sort of going to drive forward, and now that classic sort of reverse C position that we don't tend to see as much now. So at a similar point, he's got some of that C there. You can see it's certainly the same swing, but it's less of this sort of look here. It's a calm down version. His right shoulder's up to the ball more, the spine's a little straighter. You'll sort of see that as the finish goes on there. It's a much straighter look on the left hand side, and sort of a more that sort of modern covered look, instead of a bit more of that sort of lean back, knees drive forward a little more.